Welcome to Stargate SG1 for the first time still, not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Aiken, and I'm watching Stargate SG1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I'm watching Stargate SG1 for the 47th time. But for the first time, I am going through the show looking for what it is trying to teach us. What are those sci-fi messages? What are the lessons that it is holding up a mirror to society? Is it giving us hope that things will be better in the future, or is it just teaching us how to be better human beings to one another?
I'm excited to find out. We are diving into the episode Family today, and my prediction last episode was that Family was going to be our first look at the Jackson family. We're going to see Schuller for the first time since Children of the Gods. Eager to see if I'm right. Brent, tell us a little bit about Family.
Pardon me while I look at the camera and I go. This episode, season 2, episode 8, titled Family, originally aired, so August 14th, 1998, right in a row. This is a Catherine Powers episode, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
The last we saw her work was on Thor's Chariot, which was actually just like 2 episodes ago for us. She's got one more episode here in season 2, and then we'll catch up with her once or twice throughout the remaining seasons with that. So
cool.
Other than that, that's all I got for you on the preamble of the show. It is time to go watch the episode, my friend.
Right now.
Right now. Yeah, we're going to do it. If you're joining us for the very first time, the way this works is Jeff and I are going to go watch the episode right now for the first time. If you're going to be joining us on YouTube, you're going to catch the reaction version of this. And if you happen to be on Patreon, you're going to get the full unedited reaction.
And if you're listening to us on an audio podcasting app, you're about to jump into the future. You're going to catch us after we watch the episode, where I'm going to give my for the first time reactions, and Brent's going to share those sci-fi messages that he digs out of this one. Brent, let's head through the gate.
Chevron locked.
That's the sound that plays on the audio.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Unscheduled incoming traveler.
They're actually reacting to somebody coming in this time.
Scheduled to return today. Did you get an iris code?
The gate starts spinning. Everyone should do that every time.
Every time.
Whether
time.
You're making it spin or someone else is making it
with an
spin.
SG1 remote and the signal that goes with it.
TrekkieTreyTheTrekker.
He's not supposed to use it unless it's an emergency.
Perhaps he's under attack.
Jeff, I gotta stop that. Oh, okay. I'm going to just tell this whole thing. This is an example of the writers not actually figuring out what they got going on.
Okay.
Or Catherine Powers not paying attention to what happened before and nobody caught it. Tekmate is a greeting.
Okay.
It's a respectful greeting for like a senior for a master. It's not a title. It's none of that. Tekmate is like Tekmate, Jeff, my co-host.
Right.
You know, like, hey, how are you doing, my co-host? You know, so he just basically said, hello, my favorite teacher, Rya'c.
It is the Honorable Fro'tak. Hello, Honorable Fro'tak.
Yes.
He's
exactly.
not supposed to come through here.
Exactly.
Well, it sounds cool. Tekmate sounds great.
Yeah, but it is not a title. This will now be the 3rd episode you've seen with Fro'tak.
Okay. Well, of course he's in it.
So,
they mentioned it. So yeah, we met him.
Hey, spoiler, Fro'tak's about to come through the gates.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, let's watch it.
Cool.
Who? Apophis and Chlorel were killed.
Open the iris.
Her little microphone being way out here is so wrong. It doesn't have to be here. But
It's like a late 90s Bluetooth thing, though. Like when it was just, or the wireless that they had back then, it was always this weird off thing.
Hammond of Texas, will you give me leave to enter your compound?
I'm already here.
Have it, Master Fro'tak.
You can't turn around and go backwards.
Permission to come aboard. That's all that was.
Fro'tak, greetings from Earth.
Husak.
I take it this isn't a social call.
Oh, excuse me. Go right ahead.
Greetings, old friend. I bring bad news. My family, your wife is safe.
But your
With
son.
Rya'c. Your son has been taken by Apophis.
Bum, bum, bum! Oh my God!
I'm not going to confirm whether or not it's actually Apophis, but it's just enough for you to know that Fro'tak thinks it might have been Apophis.
And he was there when Apophis blowed up.
Real good.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to say that, now it could be by Apophis is people. Right, like maybe it's not Apophis, but we still give it.
Or what else do you think could happen? Could the snake have jumped to a new guy?
Oh yeah, new guy,
or left him and got away somehow.
Or maybe it's an imposter stepping up and saying they got the Gould, the Apophis Gould.
It's possible.
Yeah, actually, that's a thing I would wonder. Like, so I show up as a Gould and I'm like, I'm Apophis. Like, do I have an I-9 or passport or something that I can show you? Like,
let's find out. Is it really Apophis, Jeff? Give me a prediction. Yes or no?
Yes, it's going to be. He escaped, whatever.
Colonel, your report stated clearly that
somehow
Apophis was killed on board his ship.
Here we go.
Yes, it did, sir.
Nobody could have survived, sir.
I'm told
Could have
the
beamed
Inquirer
somewhere
was
else,
through the
though.
onboard Stargate before your explosive devices destroyed the ship.
I can't allow my best people to walk into what is obviously a trap.
Of course it's a trap. And in knowing it's a trap, we can avoid it.
Ooh.
He's vulnerable right now.
Unless they
He
know
never
that
will be
you
more
know that they know that it's
And I
a
still
trap.
have a few friends among the Serpent Guards that Apophis does not know of.
I want this to be the last time. Colonel, you have a goal. Get
You know,
Apophis
anyone
if
with
you can.
kids knows that you can't just say this
Prime
is the last
directive of this
time.
mission
No.
is to bring Teal'c's family back to Earth.
All right.
Which is where they should be in the first place. Not on Chulak. Be with Teal'c on Earth.
Hey, what's that? Let's go pick it up. Oh
Let's stand here and look at it.
I'm Fro'tak of the High Cliffs.
no! Fro'tak.
Jack of the Windy City. This is Jackson and Carter.
Your presence in the home of my wife is greatly appreciated, Fro'tak.
It is my home, Teal'c.
It was you who provided shelter for my wife and son.
Teal'c?
Oh
I will
no!
When it appeared that you may never return, and that you may indeed be dead, Rya'c had her marriage removed.
Oh.
She is now my wife, Teal'c.
Hit him! Hit him! Yes!
Just for the record, from here on out, we will now refer to her as Rya'c Hampton Eggers.
That's deep. Oh.
If you don't understand that reference, go check out our show, Babylon 5, for the first time. That was a lot funnier than you even know.
It was hilarious. I mean, I get Teal'c, but also, I mean, dude's not wrong. I guess.
I wish to be the one to tell you myself, old friend. I am sorry.
Isn't it like, okay, I'm sorry, I gotta pause this again. Isn't it like bro code?
Uh-huh.
Like, did Jaffa not have bro code? Like, that's your, if they're dudes, like if they were bros, if that was, like, I kind of get it if Fro'tak was just like a dude from somewhere else who met Rya'c and just kind of came in. Apparently they're friends. Like,
But if they're old bros and they're like Jewish, then old school Jewish, then it's his job to marry the wife. So I mean, it really
but
depends.
clearly
on which
that's
bro
not the
code.
case here, though.
No.
You know, so yeah, that's
Yeah, it's pretty uncool.
Yeah, I'm totally applying American 90s bro code.
Dude, what's wrong with bro code, you know? Any code that's based on bros before hoes, because I mean,
My God,
for real, what's more respectful than that? That's what could go wrong.
dude, look at that face from Teal'c, man.
Yeah.
That is like Teal'c could give Dwayne the Rock Johnson a run for Stink Eye.
Okay, this is late 98, and so this is like peak Rock right now.
Yeah.
I'll bet for real's money, they're both taking notes from each other.
I like it.
Dude, I would be, I mean, I understand, right? But I would be
know if this
so
guy
angry.
Fro'tak can be trusted not to turn us in.
Is it not obvious, O'Neill?
Look, I know you probably don't want to hear this right now. I think you need to get some perspective on this.
There's
Maybe
a
in a
Gould
way,
sleeping with
thank
my wife.
How can you say that, Daniel Jackson? He has betrayed our friendship.
If I
So,
recall, last time
What you just learned from Teal'c is the Jaffa do in fact have a bro code.
Yes.
And Teal'c has been betrayed by, like, I never actually realized this before now. Like, talk about holding up a mirror to society, 1998. This is it right here. Right? I mean, seriously. Okay, so 1998. This would be like one of the other members of NSYNC dating Britney Spears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Not okay. Just
Right.
not okay.
you just, you know.
I mean, it seems to me they have a better life now.
Thin ice, Daniel Jackson. Thin ice.
Daniel could almost
Just listen to
deservedly get punched for making that
Uh-huh.
statement.
If you were dead,
He's on
would you
thin
wish
ice and
Rya'c
he's
to
playing
remain
with
alone
fire.
Forever. I am not dead. In your current situation, you may as well be. Dr. Jackson is right.
Man, that is tough. Like,
Has high station in
remove yourself and she's really well
Thanks
taken
to
care
him, your
of.
family is no longer outcast.
All the more reason why they need to be with Teal'c on
Teal'c,
Earth.
I know it's tough. Yeah. But you gotta focus on your boy.
Before we proceed, give me your word that you will not commit Kelmar Tokim.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that, Braytak.
I give you my word.
That's some real
Then I will
stank
retrieve
on that.
Fro'tak and your wife.
I mean something like revenge by the wearer of horns, which I'm guessing is a Jaffa term for being a cuckold.
Hello.
I've never heard that line in this show before. Wow.
We will find Rya'c and bring him home. This I swear.
How dare you judge me and dishonor Fro'tak in his own house after what you have done?
Woman, be silent.
That is not an answer, Teal'c. You were the one who abandoned us.
Preach,
What I
honey.
did was for the future of my people.
What I have done is for the future of our son.
I hate this, right? They're both right.
But Rya'c, our son, deserves a better life than the camps, and Fro'tak has offered it to him.
I feel like there's some questions you just don't ask in situations like this. And, you know, you're just better if you don't know.
I think about how awesome that love is from a mom. Like, she'll sacrifice literally her body.
Rya'c is being held.
Her
in the
dignity,
West Palace
her
Court.
desires,
It's less than
everything.
200 paces away.
Amazing.
To
I know it
help
well.
her
I've
son.
made a map.
Ow! Guard! Help me!
Do not be afraid, Rya'c. You are safe.
Get away from me, Schuller! What is he doing?
Oh,
The hell guards are traitors here!
Teal'c!
he wants to be there.
Rya'c's body lives, but his heart and mind has been destroyed. He is now with Apophis. The boy was a stranger, a beast.
Oh, come on.
Apophis is punishing me for my betrayal.
But he is just a child.
I don't think Apophis
My
cares.
child. This was not your doing, Teal'c.
That was a very compassionate thing for her to say.
What's going on? Apophis is about to address the people of Schuller.
Oh, let's see if it's a new Apophis or not.
People of Chulak,
Same voice.
rumors of my defeat are
Same dude.
false, spread by traitors who would destroy our world. I bring you the truth, proof of my power to conquer evil and forgive transgression.
Oh, ouch. Oh, he's just
Rya'c, son
digging
of
in.
Teal'c.
Your father is not a hero. He is evil. My mother is Rya'c of the Morning Chamka Groves.
I don't get the part about
That's
us having his
filthy.
mother. No one took Rya'c.
You are correct, Daniel Jackson. Rya'c has given me hope. In the past, I have taken him to the Champa Groves to play.
Morning Chamka Groves. He wants us to go there in the morning.
He has given us a way to free him. Teal'c. I know he is your son, but this is a wisdom far beyond his years.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Braytak on this one. Your boy had a chance to come with us the first time. I kind of think it's wishful thinking, dude.
It is not wishful thinking, O'Neill.
Teal'c's the king
My
of
son is
wishful
strong.
thinking.
He is fighting this brainwashing you spoke.
Here's the thing. Even if it is wishful thinking, you have to go.
You got to go.
As a father, you have to go.
No question. He told you exactly what's going to happen.
Yep. Yep. Even if it's a trap, even if it's all of that, you got to go.
I will not sleep either until our son is safe.
Well, you can sleep tomorrow night because I'm heading to the plains. We're going to find dude. It's going to be good. And Fro'tak's he's going to see. And Fro'tak's going to be like, you son of a... Oh, yep. And turn him into a... He's going to...
Why is Fro'tak mad at that?
Right?
Do you not expect this? Did Fro'tak not have a conversation with Rya'c when Teal'c showed up? Be like, hey, so where are you on all this? What's happening here?
Would have been the smart thing to do.
Oh, Jack's watching.
Mm-hmm. Everybody
Jack
knows.
was watching Fro'tak watching them.
Yep. So Fro'tak's going to turn on them, but Jack's going to be expecting that. Oh, it just sucks. I understand where everybody's coming from, you know?
Nope. Jack just straight up killed that dude. Like,
I gotta do this. So it was amazing. So shot one of the Zat gun, right? Just stuns and it hurts.
Right.
So I'm gonna be the Jaffa who just got shot. So this is me first as the Jaffa, right? Just standing, just there. Then he shoots me. I just go like this. That was great. Does
not have to go down like this.
I'm still unclear, Jeff. I got to tell you, how much time has to pass between shots with a Zat gun before it kills you? Oh, there he goes. Oh,
3 shots.
Jack just disappeared that dude.
Seal off the palace. No one comes or goes.
I imagine
I like,
the
he's got
time-
that 90s like goatee.
Totally. Yep. I imagine the amount of time between shots is about as long as the plot needs it to be.
He was turning us in. I had to stop him. I'm sorry.
I never thought he would betray us.
The fault is mine. I made vows I could not keep.
Well, now you can make some other vows.
The sons are coming up. Let's get the kid.
Teal'c's like, yes, we can get the kid. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. That worked out great. A little too great, maybe.
Father!
Rya'c.
Does anyone besides me think this was just a little too easy?
Yeah, careful.
That's what I said, Sam. Yeah.
My son is strong.
There's too much episode left for this to just work.
I'm sorry. Mine is not as strong as my father's.
Old people writing kids.
Why can you not accept
Awful.
the possibility that my son's mind was simply too strong for Papa's to control?
Dude, there's a lesson right there. Know your kid.
Yeah.
Don't overplay them.
Nope. Know what they're capable. Believe them, right?
Yeah.
Believe your kid, but also understand, like, they human.
Why?
Or
why do you
they
think
Jaffa.
why do you think my son's not strong enough? Because he's 8.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your son. That's just.
Can we just look at what actually has happened here, Teal'c? Like, let's just look at the sequence of events. And if they come out and get them, Fro'tak's with them.
You don't hug in that situation. Like, I love my kids. I'm not hugging my kid in that situation. I'm getting them through the gate. Go.
Yeah, you should go really fast.
Go. There's no pause. There's no hesitation. Everybody goes.
Take the kid. I'm worried about Fro'tak getting...
Another time.
Okay, good. Get out of here.
I owe you my thanks.
He's their ace in the hole.
Episode was running a little short. We had to slow it down there.
Yeah. It is a Catherine Powers episode, so pacing is an issue.
Hey, look, they can be a family again.
Yeah, that's... I'm with Jack right now.
No sign of anything abnormal.
Any naquita, potassium, anything like that going on?
Yeah, I hope so, Teal.
Father says Tori only has one son. I cannot wait to see it.
There is no way this kid is acting normal right now.
It will be a while, my son.
If this was the way my kid acted normally, he and I'd be going camping. We'd be doing.
I was going to say, we're going to spend some time out.
Yeah, because this is not normal, even for a Jaffa. Like,
Can you check for implants, crowns?
Rya'c.
Cyanide
What kind of
caps,
food you like?
bomb
I'm
stuff.
not hungry. I wish to see the outside of your world.
There's plenty of time for that.
You'll feel a tiny sting, that's all.
No! Ah! You dare touch me! I'm tied up!
Oh, there it is.
Do it quickly.
Are you shocked, Jeff?
No.
Was that a surprise at all?
Not even a little bit. The only surprise left is who. Like, who is it? What happened?
Go away! I hate you!
Like, I don't think he's Gould because he's not doing the voice.
Yeah.
Or the eyes or anything.
They're gone, son.
What would a kid say in this case? Oh, he'd
What
say
the hell
that he
almost
hates his
happened
parents.
here?
You're not my real
The teeth were
mom. You
fake,
don't understand
hollow.
me.
Inside each tooth, we found a different biological organism, sort of like a virus.
And what would it have done?
Killed every
Well,
living
people,
thing on Earth.
it would have been brutal because the CDC would come out and tell people, hey, this thing just happened, and these are the things you have to do to protect yourself. And then people would be like, you can't tell me what to do. And then we would all die.
I must return to Apophis.
For what reason?
Because he loves me and
That's
I
a look
love
a lot
him.
of parents have, just like,
Rya'c.
Just tell me the thing.
My son, remember the stories we told by the fire at night. That is love.
All right, Dad. Okay.
Dude, that might be the best piece of acting I've ever seen from that kid. Right? Like
This
that,
whole
when she turned around and looked away. Oh my gosh.
That whole scene was excellent. The looks, the stuff, and then just like, oh, I'm going to...
Electroconvulsive therapy.
Isn't that kind of barbaric?
Like,
Actually, it's not so much anymore. It could kill the Gould larva inside him. Might
So let's
work.
shoot your kid.
I trust you know what is best.
Just tell him that it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt him, and that'll make everything fine.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother is here to help you.
So I can shoot you in the face.
Right.
Do you know how many dads have sat there and gone, I would love to shoot my kid in the face with a Zat Nicotel?
Right. I mean, just one shot. Just one.
Yeah, just give me one. I'm not trying to kill him. I don't want to disintegrate him. I just want to shock him.
Just a little.
Did you notice that Teal'c shot him with the Zat Nicotel closed?
Oh,
It didn't.
No.
It's still closed. I see it every time I see this episode.
He barely draws breath.
He is in great pain.
Where are we, Mother?
The Tari. Oh man, he doesn't remember any of it. That's so good.
We are not in Schulak, my son.
But we are with Father.
We are home.
Yeah, I love it.
This is now, how many times have they sent people to go live with Tupelo?
This is the second time.
I thought this was the third. Is this the second
Was
time?
it? I think it's just the second
They
time.
tried to send the Tolan, and the Tolan were like, these people are primitive and this is an insult.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was somebody else.
Yeah.
But
I think they actually sent some people.
Yeah.
I shall return.
That's cool that he went back with them.
All right, Jeff. That was Family. I got to tell you, I was shocked to see the two people at the end, brothers, fighting in a vineyard
and then laughing, all covered in mud.
Right? I mean,
how does that happen?
Shakespearean level Royal Theater actors just covered
I think the
in mud.
thing that surprised me the most, though, was the fact that Teal'c was trying to talk Jack out of taking that job down under the, trying to unearth Atlantis or whatever. Like, hey, and there's the Stargate Atlantis. Oh, there's layers to that one.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right, Jeff, we're talking about the SG1 episode Family. What'd you think?
We've talked in the past about how much I love hot dogs. I'm a huge hot dog fan, right? And I'm not going to take this whole podcast and talk about them. I just want you, Brent, and anyone watching or listening to picture a hot dog, right? So you've got the tube of meat, you got a nice soft bun around it, maybe some toppings.
I'm sorry. The tube of meat.
It's what it is. It's a protein tube. That's all it is.
What she said. Go.
What else?
All right, tell us about your tube of meat, Jeff. And remember, this is supposed to be a family-friendly show.
Nothing I like more than taking a tube of meat and shoving it. I'm going to bring that back.
God. Oh my God. You did not.
For real though, hot dogs are delicious. When I was a kid, we were quite poor. And so like we ate the government cheese, all that stuff. That's an experience I had.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we would have hot dogs for dinner, but instead of getting like the buns, we'd put the hot dog just in a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Which is great, right? Now, all these years later, it's almost a comfort food, for me. But like at the time, I even knew like, hey, this isn't really how you're supposed to eat a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, the core of it, the hot dog of the episode, the story of Rya'c and Teal'c and Rya'c, the family, right? That family is beautiful. It was a beautiful story that was surprisingly well acted and came out well. But the stuff around that really cool story, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of a piece of bread. So a good hot dog that I enjoy eating, but just some stuff around it that was kind of like, really, really. So specifically, Rya'c is apparently brainwashed by Apophis.
Yep.
The guy who died like 8 episodes ago.
Yep.
But didn't.
Yep.
Yeah. Somehow brainwashed, didn't know that was a thing that they did in the Gould world. And then they have to break the brainwashing, the whole brainwashing thing just didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get that they had to put Rya'c in this weird state so, he could hate his mom and his dad and he could all this stuff and be set as a biological weapon. But it just didn't hold a lot of water the way they did it. And as I said that, what a stupid plan. We're going to go through all the work to abduct this kid, brainwash him, program him so that he can go through the Stargate and get to Earth. And we're going to put all of our cards on one weapon. Like, oh, we took the teeth out. Oh, so now he's got nothing. Like, what? What a stupid plan.
Well, didn't Teal'c say that the Gould's downfall is their pride?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Their overconfidence. Like,
what more would I need than these biological weapons I'm sending across?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot shoved into this episode. We met Fro'tak, And I feel like there's a huge missed opportunity. Dude should have had an afro.
Oh, Jeff.
Live in the name. So there's that weird setup, right? So Rya'c didn't know, he thought Teal'c was probably dead, didn't know he was going to come back. So she, what do they say? She nullified the marriage. They used some term.
Yeah.
Use some term for it. But basically she's like, yeah, he's probably dead, so I'm not going to be married anymore. Hooked up with Fro'tak, old friend of Teal'c's. Teal'c comes
By
in
the
and
way,
sees this.
I'm sorry. Can we just, did she really think that he was dead, or did she use that as an excuse with which to nullify the marriage so that she could get together with Fro'tak to provide a better life for her son?
I think either way, she did the extremely honorable and compassionate thing of hooking up with Fro'tak. And that sounds awful, right? But she didn't love Fro'tak. She gave up, we talked about it during the episode, she gave up her body, she gave up her dignity, all for the opportunity for a better life for her son. And you and I know mothers like this.
Yeah.
You watching or listening might be one of those mothers or know mothers like that. This is why moms are some of the most amazing people ever. There are dads out there who've done the same, and they're amazing also. But I think there's just something magical about the connection and what a woman will do for their kid.
You know, it's amazing to me to think about how judged someone can be for doing kind of what they have to get by. But in a situation like this, like it almost feels like we're going down the realm of prostitution. She's prostituting herself out in order to catch all of this stuff, but she's doing it for her kid, right? And I'm not here to judge whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent. That is not my job. But I will say this: never once have I ever heard anyone ever criticize Forrest Gump's mother for doing what she did to get her kid in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Never once has that ever been a thing. Now we can judge the dude, the principal, we can judge the man. We might even could judge Fro'tak here. You know, because Fro'tak had to know what's up. Is Fro'tak really blind? Is he really like, oh yeah, she loves me, she's good, I'm in love with her, and she's my wife now, and we're happy together, and oh, now she's cheating on me, so I'm gonna go run and tell everybody. Like, really, Fro'tak? Like, really?
Fro'tak's the real villain in this. Apophis is Apophis, doing what Apophis does, going after the Sholva, right? And that, if you believe you're a god, it completely makes sense for you to go after the people that are traitors to your faith and your cause. So there's Apophis. Rya'c, brainwashed, you know, had no control over this whole thing. Fro'tak's the bad guy in this whole thing. And I think we learned that the Jaffa have a bro code.
They do. They have a bro code.
And Fro'tak straight up disregarded it. Disgusting. I'm glad that Jack hit him with that third Zach gun shot.
Man, he just that's what happens to everyone. That should be what happens to everyone who violates bro code.
Seriously.
We take things serious. We take bro code serious.
You get one shot, right? And if you say, yes, I'm going to do this thing, boom, now you get 3 shots. Like, you get one opportunity, one shot to do the right thing, and that turns into 3 shots if you don't do it. Yeah, he was kind of awful. But the mechanism he had that I thought was great. I talked about this a lot. What a messed up situation, because Rya'c was right, Teal'c was right, and in a way, Fro'tak was right too. Yeah, I believe he's taking advantage of a situation with Rya'c, but nope. Let me restate that. Let me reframe that. I believe he's taking advantage of Rya'c, and he's taking good care of her, taking good care of her son, providing a safe place for Sholva, right? These people are the worst than the cast out, and now they have a beautiful home. Yeah, they're well fed, well dressed, protected to the point that they can abduct, Rya'c and the whole thing. But I think Rya'c was right to try and do the right thing for her kid. Teal'c is right to be furious that all this is happening. There's so much hurt happening, but everybody's kind of doing the thing that they should be doing. It makes me think. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so, we've criticized Fro'tak here for violating bro code. Okay. But listen, bro code notwithstanding, dudes having crushes on their friends' girls is not uncommon.
True.
You know, turns out your bros, you have similar tastes. Maybe you like the same kind of girl.
Maybe you spend a lot of time together and, you know,
maybe,
just, yeah.
Maybe all of that's there. If something were to happen to me, I would hope that somebody would take care of my wife and my children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not stupid. That means, you know, marrying my wife and all the things that come along with that. And even like it, and I would hope that, you know, it would be somebody who's good to my family.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was one of my friends, that he's, you know, that he's doing like, hey, I'm doing this for your family. I'm going to bring them in, and yeah, now they're going to be married, and that entails all that it entails, right? The part that's just so disgusting to me, and where Fro'tak really violates everything, is when he sees Rya'c and Teal'c kissing, and then he gets all in his feels and he runs away to turn in his friend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he could go have a conversation with Teal'c, be like, yo, dude, she's not your wife anymore. I know, you know, I know this is new to you. We're trying to figure this out. Rya'c, we're going to have some, I know there's still feelings here. We're going to have to figure all this out. But he went and turned in his friend.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting.
Well, I think to your point during the episode, that should have been a conversation between Rya'c and Fro'tak.
Yeah.
Right from go.
Yeah.
Hey, dude's back. Let's check in. Let's talk about this. Let's have some, you know, boundaries, some agreements about this whole thing.
Do the thing that married people need to do. Communicate. Have those conversations. Be open. Yeah.
The situation with all the people, though, because they're all like, no one is wrong, but everyone is hurt. Right. And so, like, how is that possible? It reminds me of Picard in Peak Performance, right? Where he says it's possible to make no mistakes and still lose. Yeah. That's not weakness, baby. That's just life. And I think like in Star Trek, that was kind of a high concept, right? We're talking about commanding a ship and all the things that go into strategy or whatever. Here in this episode, we got it as close and personal as you possibly can. 3 people who did the right things, really, and it still sucked. And then Fro'tak went too far. But all of that made sense to tell the story. And the core of this story was Teal'c and his family were separated. Rya'c was heartbroken because dad left and he didn't come back. Rya'c was lost and confused and didn't know what she had to do. Now they're back. They've reconciled that, and Teal'c has a family again. They're on Tupelo. They're safe now. You know, for what we can tell, they're going to have a level of protection. A good outcome for the whole for everybody, really. The big takeaway, of course, being that Apophis is not dead. So we have that. Apophis is still a thing. I have one question that I might have just missed, but Rya'c is losing his mind, right? I hate you. You suck. You're the worst. He keeps calling Teal'c a Hataka.
Yep.
What is Hataka?
We don't know.
Okay.
They never. We just assume. It's
like an
we
F
assume
word.
it's a bad thing. Yeah.
At first, I thought maybe it's marked for death, or has a price on his head, because dude, he's got like huge price on his head. I thought it was interesting that Apophis, a god, has to have a monetary, like, hey, I'll give you $1 million, whatever it is that we spend here, if you go bring me this guy, as opposed to, I am your god and I am commanding you to go and bring me this person.
Well, but we have established, though, that Apophis does reward loyalty, and he gave Teal'c this house, which, by the way, wasn't a terrific house, but not it wasn't whatever Fro'tak's in,
right? Yeah.
Like, it was a cottage compared to what Fro'tak is in.
Fro'tak's some sort of like hedge fund investor on Chulak or something. He's making other people's money.
You didn't really think they were all warriors.
Yeah, no.
Like, somebody's got to be the scientist of the group. Somebody's got to make the weapons and design those. And
all in all, I really enjoyed this episode. I think it might be one of my favorite Catherine Powers ones.
Oh, wow.
I've been kind of harsh on hers with the pacing and stuff, and this
you have.
episode definitely had areas where the pacing wasn't the best, but it wasn't as distracting as it's been in the Thor duology that we've had so far. So yeah, I enjoyed this one. I'm curious though, what did you think of this one watching it through the sci-fi lens?
Yeah, well, before we get to that, just for the record, no For Crying Out Loud, no Daniel deaths, and we're not talking about the other thing just yet. So, yeah, there were two things that I really kind of nailed down on. We've already talked about it a little bit, so let me pull it in here. I thought this episode was a really good examination, and for the record, I tend to not like this episode. This is a skip for me on rewatches.
Wow.
I don't think it's particularly well acted, particularly with the kid.
Dude, the kid, at least in that one scene.
The one scene, he's great. But overall, like, he feels very Alexander Marchenko to me. Like, it's very wooden, very,
Also, horrible writing.
Yeah.
For both Rya'c and Alexander. They were, I think that as child actors, they were doing the best they could with the garbage they were handed.
Sure. It just, nothing sounds like a kid, the way a kid talks. Father, mother.
I cannot.
That. Yeah. Right. Like, it just, that's not how it sounds. No. So I tend to skip this episode, but I thought, as I was really like, this is a really good examination of the love of a parent. And so what I'm going to drill down here is one of the things is we talk about holding up a mirror to society, right? And even showing us how we can be better to one another. I think this is all about how to be a better parent, or maybe just an encouragement to be a better parent. Because there's the sacrifices that we make as parents, despite everything else that is happening. We've already talked about Rya'c. She's willing to sacrifice her body, her dignity, the love of her life being Teal'c, maybe even her reputation. I mean, they didn't really discuss it, like what happens to her reputation as a result of this.
True.
But her own self dignity, because she says, I don't love him. This is not something I'm doing for love. This is solely for the reason of Rya'c and doing what I have to do for Rya'c. Now, she could have grown to love him. It might have been an okay situation, but she said this, I made vows I could not keep. If I could amend that, I made vows that when Teal'c is around, I knew I could not keep.
Mm-hmm.
But she did what she felt like she needed to do to get Rya'c where he needed to be. And if she got to live in that cool big house too, then so be it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, doesn't suck.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, right? Doesn't hurt. But I think that is an incredible love, that a mother goes through, and as the son of a stepfather, as a stepson to a stepfather, there was a point in life when my mom, and I was her only child, where she needed to do what was best for me.
Okay.
Now, when she married my father, my stepfather, I know she loved him. I know that all of those pieces were very true. But I also know now as an adult, she was trying to find a good situation, not just for herself, but also for me, to make sure I had a father figure growing up in the household, to make sure that those sorts of things happen. And, anybody who would have fit that bill had to be somebody who was okay with a pre-started family.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't be someone else. And the reasons, and I'm not going to go into my entire family history, but the reasons my biological father was not around was because it was not good for me and her both to be in that situation. So she left, mostly because, like, you kind of do that thing like, hey, if it's just me, I can take it. We can work this out. I got a kid. I can't fool around with that anymore. Yeah. It was that kind of a situation.
The stakes change tremendously when there's a kid.
Exactly. For her. Right. So love of a mother, willing to do something. For Teal'c, love of a father. I mean, look, Teal'c is going to sacrifice everything. His entire mission to free the Jaffa is second fiddle to what's going on with his son, as it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As it should be. He's willing to sacrifice everything. He's willing to sacrifice his life, his safety. I don't care. I'm going after my son. Tells us to go meet him there, then I'm going to go meet him there. It does not matter. I'm going to meet my son.
It's a trap. Yep. And I'm going.
Exactly. Even to the point that in the end, he would hurt his son to save his son. It's a sacrifice I cannot even begin to imagine. Jeff, this is one of those, I'm going to go back. The most hated episode of Babylon 5 we ever did, hands down, was Believers.
Oh yeah. Right.
And spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen that. In the end, the parents, the overly religious parents, killed their son, whom they considered to be dead already. They just killed his physical body because they figured his soul was already dead.
Yeah.
Now, I can criticize that. I will criticize that up, down, left, and right. But the one thing I can say is, in the minds of those parents, that kid was already gone.
Yeah.
And the best thing they could do for him was to not dishonor him by allowing his body to walk around without a soul. You know what I mean?
They were doing a service. Yeah, they were helping him.
Yeah, it's awful. It's disgusting. It's not the way that this should go. And we can criticize all of that. But I think the one thing we can't criticize was their intention. Their love for their son was there. All right. So I think we get that. And I think this is an episode that really talks about how the lengths to which a parent is going to go for their child, and how important love is. However, this episode was called Family. This is not an episode just about the parents. The parents by themselves don't make a complete family. We now have to look at Rya'c.
Yeah.
Talk about a mirror to society. Rya'c's love for his father, Rya'c's love for his mother. Rya'c was so in love with his father that when his father betrayed him by not coming home, because Teal'c said, I'm coming home, and when he didn't come home, and I assume that where they really felt like he wasn't coming home was after the whole battle with Apophis, and they thought maybe he died on that ship.
Yep.
Like I assume that's where it was. Could have been somewhere else. They've been gone less than a year. This has been like less than half a year since we've seen them. Like, come on, how much time are you really going to give the guy, right? But we assume when I know this, when a young man loses his father, maybe even a grandfather, it's a real tenuous time, because in his heart, in his mind, he can make vows, he can make decisions for himself. I have a friend of mine whose name's Todd, who his father died when he was real young. And he sort of made this thing to himself. He's like, I'm on my own now. And he lived the next 30 years of his life as a loner, never trusting anybody, never letting anybody be that kind of mentor father figure to him. And it was something that carried in well into adulthood for him.
Wow.
You know, and part of his story, and Todd's doing great now, and he's an amazing person. And I've learned so much from Todd, but that's his story. I'll let him tell it more in detail if anybody ever wants to find this mysterious guy named Todd I'm talking about. Teal'c broke his promise. Now, it might have been for good reason, Jeff. Might have even been a little bit beyond Teal'c's control. Kids don't get that.
Nope.
Kids don't understand that. What they know is Dad's not here.
Said he was going to be here, not here.
I mentioned my stepfather, my biological father. The number of times my biological father told me as a kid, hey, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. And he'd never show up. I know that pain. I know what that is. This is a message to parents to be better parents.
Right.
When I sit back and I go, okay, a mirror to society. How do we be better people to each other? This is a mirror, because the love of parents for their children is inescapable. The love of a child to his parents is damaging when that gets betrayed, and we have to be better. They don't always understand why. Children don't. What they need, though, is their father. I could extend this, their mother.
Mm-hmm.
They need their father. They need their father's presence. They need him around. They need his love in their life. Not just, oh, my dad's off way over there doing something and I know he loves me because he's way out there. No, the kid needs to be able to look up and see their dad in the stands.
They need love as an action word, not a descriptor, but the action.
Not to just know, he's just going to have to know that I love him. No, you need to be there. Mm-hmm. You need to show up for the games. Don't send somebody from the office, Peter Banning, to take a video of it. You got to be there, because your word is your bond, or it'll be a junk bond. 10 points to anyone who catches that reference. Jeff, you got it?
No.
Hook.
Oh, yeah. I don't care for that movie.
Oh, you and I are not friends anymore.
Because of Rufio, but
there you go.
Yeah.
Rufio. Physicality. Physically. Children need their parents. They need their fathers. Proximity. Got to be there. I think that's really a lot of where this episode was going. Rya'c says it best at the very end. Oh, we're with father? Then to me, we're home.
Yeah.
It means so much. Rya'c meant so much to his parents. His parents clearly meant so much to each other, and his parents meant so much to Rya'c. Jeff, part of grading these chevrons is how intentional that message is. Mm-hmm. Is this what the writer set down and intended? I believe that is what it is.
Yeah. It's the hot dog.
Yeah, it is. As not well executed as I personally tend to think this episode is, except a few bright spots. Like there are some bright spots I'm like, that's great. But I'm giving this one, I want to say 4 chevrons, but I could make this 5 real easy, Jeff. I could make it 5 real easy. And I can't, yeah. Okay, I'll go with you on that. I'll go 5 chevrons on this one.
It's a good call.
I think it's a big one. I think it's a big episode. It's all right there.
Not only is it big, it's important. Like there's the message, how well it was delivered. And this doesn't come into the grading, but it's added context. Like it's such a needed message. I don't care if you and your child's their parent are together. I don't care if you hate each other. Your kid is more important than that. Like, oh, I hate that person and I never want to see or talk to them again. Get over it. Go to the ball game, sit on the other side of the bleachers, whatever you need to do, you be there for your kid.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. That's it.
Yeah.
Before we dive into the next part, I went down a rabbit hole and I want to share my little journey. We were talking about, so I went down a rabbit hole and I want to take you on my little journey.
Let's do it.
We were talking about Rya'c and the not so great acting because of the writing, and then the one scene that was great. So I thought to myself, what else has this kid done? So I went on to the IMDb, and he hasn't done a lot.
Okay.
So that's the end of that story. But on there, I was curious as well. I was like, well, Rya'c, played by Brooke Parker.
Yep.
In this, who later billed as Brooke Susan Parker. I'm like, oh, what else has she done? And she had a pretty lengthy acting career. Last credits in 2011, but just a little bit around the Stargate time is this little series called Crusade that she was on. Now, you and I haven't watched Crusade yet, but we know that's in the Babylon 5 something.
Yeah.
So I took a
whether
risk.
It's prequel, postquel, whatever. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
So I took a risk and I clicked on the IMDb page. So if you're one of our Babylon 5 for the first time watchers or listeners, Jeff took a risk. Nothing here. I have no idea what any of this means on the IMDb page. I don't recognize the actors here. Well, I recognize some of the actors, but not from anything in the story. So she was in Crusade. You know who else is on Crusade?
No.
Tony Amendola.
No, he's not.
Fro'tak's on Crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, I just saw a movie with Tony Amendola in it yesterday.
Really?
It was so it's a Disney Plus film, came out around the holidays, called Christmas Again.
Okay.
Plays a grandfather. It's kind of like it's a Groundhog Day at Christmas time movie.
It's kind of fun.
That's basically what it is. And he plays the grandfather in the film. He was really good. It was fun.
Nice. Yeah, I just love the overlap between this and our future of Babylon 5. So I had to share my rabbit hole.
I love to know that Tony Amendola was in a Babylon 5 thing because I love Tony Amendola. I really do.
He's great. Yeah. I feel like we have a reason to want to watch that now.
It makes me so sad when like years later I see him in commercials and stuff because you're like, oh, you're taking the gig you could get at that point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, 'cause he's so good. I'm into Texas.
It's awesome.
Well, Jeff, with that, I guess that's going to bring us down to not the rating, but the ranking. And that job falls to you, my friend. You get to take this episode and put it into our 100% completely accurate and definitive season 2 ranking of Stargate SG1. Our top 5 as it stands. I'm real curious. Where Jeff Aiken is going to put this in. Not Brent Allen, but Jeff Aiken. First episode, number 1, best episode of the season. The season premiere, Serpent's Lair. Second best episode, Thor's Chariot. Third best is In the Line of Duty. That's the one where we got Jolinar. Number 4, Message in a Bottle from last week, where a little machine thingy shoots Jack in the shoulder. And then episode 5, which is called Need. You have that as your top 5. Then you have Gamekeeper and Prisoners. Jeff, where are you placing this one, family?
I enjoyed this episode. I described it in a pretty fun way, I think. But like I said, the wrapper to the hot dog was a piece of bread. And it brings it down for me a bit. There have been some really great episodes. And in fact, even the ones that, the only one I really haven't liked was Prisoners. No. I still have my issues with Gamekeeper, but it wasn't terrible. In fact, it's not terrible, but this one's better than Gamekeeper.
Okay.
What it's not better than is Need. So Family is going to be our new number 6.
All right. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So
I think it's immutable and correct.
there you go. I like it. I like it. All right, Jeff. Well, that is going to do it for us. That is going to put a pin into the episode titled Family. Would you like to know what we're watching next week?
I sure do. I'm a little nervous. I feel a lot of pressure on these predictions now. So
yes, and you better get this one right. The title of the episode is Secrets. Jeff, what you got? What do you think?
I would love to tell you what this next episode's going to be about, but I can't.
I thought you were going to say Sha're again, because you have been begging for Sha're for since the season finale, because you're like, the season finale is going to be Sha're. It's a year. Yeah. They gave it to us. It's been a year. It's got to be Sha're. You said this one was Sha're. I just want it. I want you to be in that spot where you're going to stick with Sha're until
every time. Well, the secret is, of course, that Apophis is back, and so is Sha're, I guess. I don't know. I'll say Sha're, but honestly, my guess is...
No, don't say Sha're because I said that. What's your guess?
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Oh, you're going to go that route. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to respect that. Well, we'll see if Jeff's secret prediction is right next time.
Yeah. You got to tune in next week to find out.
What the secret prediction... Jeff, did you get your secret prediction right? Yep.
That's so weird. I totally did.
Nailed it. Every beat.
Thing is, though, I have to reveal what my prediction was before we watch the episode. So I have to figure out how to work my way around that.
Basically, you just bought yourself a week's worth of time to think about it.
Yeah.
Is what you just did. Well, we'll find out if Jeff's time to think about it is going to pay off next time right here on Stargate SG1 for the first time. Thank you guys so much for joining us and hanging out with Jeff for the last, with Jeff and I for the last, probably depending on which version of this you're watching, 30 minutes to like an hour and a half. Hey, please don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast, or if you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a super ton. And while you're out there, if you're in a spot where they can leave ratings and reviews, please feel free to do that. We love receiving those. We love getting to read those, and we will make sure we do that. And also, please be sure to share this podcast with somebody you know who loves Stargate SG1, or someone who, like my friend Jeff, needs to get into the gate, needs to climb the ramp, needs to dial the gate, lock in those chevrons,
open the iris.
There you go. You know what I mean? So until next time, folks, we'll see you then.
Hey, Brent.
Yeah, Jeff.
You're talking about, wrapping this up, and one thing I can't get this off my mind, dude. Fro'tak, man. I am gonna knock that mother Gould out if I ever have the chance.
You really went there?
I did.
For crying out loud, Jeff.